Matter is all around us. Can you still remember the three states of matter? Yes, that's right. We have solid, liquid, and gas. So what kind of matter are these? Yes, they are solid materials. Like other materials, solids have different characteristics or properties such as size, shape, color, odor, texture, and others. Solid materials could also undergo changes when exposed to certain conditions. It can change in different ways. Do you want to find out how these solid materials change? So get ready with your materials and join the fun activities. We have here a plastic ruler and a rubber slipper. Let us observe these materials when bent. Now what happened to the ruler after it was bent? Did it change its size? Yes, the ruler stretched when it was bent. Did it change its shape? Yes, the straight ruler became curved when it was bent. Did it change its texture? Right, the texture of the ruler is still the same. Did it change its color? Correct, nothing has changed in color. This time is the rubber slipper when it is bent. What do you observe after the slipper was bent? Did it change its size? Yes, the slipper expanded or stretched when it was bent. Did it change its shape? Correct, the slipper curved when it was bent. Did it change its texture? Correct, the texture of the slipper is still the same. Did it change its color? Right, nothing has changed in color. Now, what can you say about bending a solid material? What are the characteristics of solid is observable during our activity? Yes, bending can change the size and shape of the solid materials. It makes a straight object into curved one. Is there a new material formed? Correct. Now new material is formed. Only a change in the physical appearance of the materials. Now let's have another solid materials. We have here a pandesal and a chocolate bar. Let us observe how these solid materials change when they are pressed. Now what happened to pandesal when it was pressed? Did it change its size? Yes, it changed. Did it change its shape? Yes, the part of it that was pressed flattened. Did it change its texture? Yes, correct. The part of it that was pressed became smoother. Did it change its color? Right, the color is still the same. Now let us see what will happen to the chocolate bar if we're going to press it. Did it change its size? Yes, it changed its size. Did it change its shape? Yes, the part of it that was pressed flattened. Did it change its texture? Correct, the part of it that was pressed became smoother. Did it change its color? Right, the color is still the same. Now what can you say about pressing a solid material? What are the characteristics of solid is observable during our activity? Yes, pressing can change the size, shape, and texture of the solid material. Only the physical appearance is changed. The solid material is still in its original state. Now new material is formed. We have here another solid materials, a plastic bag and a piece of paper. Let us observe how these solid materials change when they are cut by using a scissor. Now what happened to the plastic bag when cut by a scissor? Did it change its size? Yes, the plastic cut into pieces. Did it change its shape? Yes, the cut pieces of plastic turned into different shapes. Did it change its texture? Correct, the texture of the plastic is still smooth. Did it change its color? Right, the color remains the same. Now this time is the paper when cut by a scissor. So what are the changes do you observe when a paper was cut by a scissor? Did it change its size? Yes, the paper turned into pieces. Did it change its shape? Yes, the cut pieces of paper turned into different shapes. Did it change its texture? Correct. The texture of the paper is still smooth. Did it change its color? Correct. Nothing has changed in color. Now what can you say about cutting a solid materials? Yes, cutting a solid materials can change its size and shape. Is there a new material formed? Correct. Now new material is formed. Only the physical appearance is changed. Now let us try another solid materials. We have here an empty can and a piece of chalk. Now what do you observe when an empty can hammered? Did it change its size? Yes, the empty can became smaller. Did it change its shape? Yes, it was turned into an irregular shape or deformed. Did it change its texture? Yes, the area that was hammered became rough. Did it change its color? Right, the color is still the same. Now how about a piece of chalk when hammered? Now what do you observe? Did it change in size? Yes, the chalk became smaller. Did it change its shape? Yes, from elongated shape to broken pieces. Did it change its texture? Yes, the texture changed to soft, powdery particles. Did it change its color? Right, nothing has changed in color. Now what change is observable in pounding a solid using a hammer? Right, hammering a solid material can change the size, shape, and texture. No new material is formed, only the physical appearance is changed. Now you observed the changes in solid materials when bent, pressed, cut, and hammered. You say that there is a change in size, shape, and texture without changing its composition. The material is still the same or no new material is formed. So what kind of change is observable in the material? Yes, it is a physical change. It is changed in size, shape, and texture without changing its composition. So what is the reason why the composition or characteristics of the solid is still the same, or no new material is formed? Let us take a closer look on how molecules in a solid were arranged. As you can see the molecules of gas, liquid, and solid. Gas has definite mass but has no definite shape and volume. Its molecules are farther apart, so they move freely. Liquid has definite volume and mass but has no definite shape. Its molecules are loosely arranged but still close together. This is why they can move around and allow molecules to flow. As you can see, the molecules of solid are packed closely to each other compared to gas and liquid. This is the reason why solids are hard and why we can hold them. It has definite shape, mass, and volume. Solid can change only if you give force like bending, cutting, hammering, or pressing. Do you know other ways on how to change a solid materials aside from bending, pressing, hammering, and cutting? Yes, as I said, solid materials can change in many ways. You can change by twisting, crumpling, tearing, and melting. These ways can change the size, shape, and texture of the material, but no new material is formed because it only undergoes physical change. Now, let us identify the following ways of changing solid materials as shown in the picture. Yes, a piece of iron used for construction can change by bending. A sliced bread can change by cutting. Making a dough can change by pressing. To make a new shape for an iron, you can change by hammering. Our next activity is what can you do to change the shape and size of the following solid materials? Let us start with a hollow block. Yes, correct, you can change by hammering. What about the paper? Right, by cutting or crumpling. Next, making a model using clays. Correct. You can change by pressing. Next, how about paper fastener? Yes, you can twist or bend. How about a piece of chalk? How can you change its size and shape? Correct. It can change by hammering. Now, let me see on how resourceful you are during this time of pandemic. Let us read the following situation and give your possible answer. You have extra 5-meter cloth in your cabinet. It was not used for quite some time. Your grandmother is a good dressmaker. In what way can you make this cloth useful during this pandemic? Cloth is a solid material. It can change it in many ways. Many of you would think better to make a face mask out of this 5-meter cloth. In this time of pandemic or nowadays, people must wear a face mask to help prevent the spread of infection and prevent the individual from contracting any airborne infectious germs. So what are you waiting for? Make a face mask out of your extra cloth.